question, Don. Do you reckon? Do you hand on heart, right? Time for some honesty here. Do you think if Roman never bought Chelsea, you would have picked Chelsea to be your club?
Bro, a funny story. I'm glad that you asked me this.
So no, the answer is no. Then
let me tell you some history now. Yeah, I listen. I became a Chelsea fan because I was gifted a Chelsea top from God knows who. I don't even know who gifted me that top, and that was before Roman came in. Yeah, I need to find that picture, Terry, because you see me.
Yeah, and if Chelsea got relegated, you would have dashed that top in the bin.
Chelsea top on. I became a Chelsea fan because I was bought a Chelsea top. I don't know who that is, but hey, God bless you if you're still alive.
What a great reason to support a team, eh? Oh, what a great reason. I
was bought a Chelsea top, and automatically I was blue straight away. You know what I'm saying? So listen, like I said, Terry, hopefully you man beat them. I just don't really see it, man. I don't really see it. A draw would be nice, to be fair, but let's see, man. Hopefully you beat them.
In fairness, your story though, so Man United had a 1985 white kit, and how I become a United fan was there was a big connection with Beckham and the area I was in when I was younger. But prior to that, my nan, God rest her soul, she did my dad obviously didn't force me and my brothers into supporting teams, but I got to about 3 and I hadn't 3 or 4 and I hadn't really picked a team yet. So it was about 1988, something like that. Maybe a little bit earlier, and I hadn't picked a team. And my dad asked my nan to go and get a Spurs shirt. By the way, this shows how big Man United had been for a long time. We were awful in the 80s, right? She went and bought a white kit because she knew that Spurs played in white, but she accidentally bought a Man United away kit, and that's what I got on Christmas morning. And I still to this day remember because it said Sharp in red writing, and people used to ask me who I supported or what kit's that. I used to say Man United like this across Sharp because I couldn't read. I was that young. I used to think that's what it said, right? And I wish I still had that kit. I have no idea where it is, but I always think if my nan, I mean, she could have bought anything. She could have come back. I could be a Swansea fan theoretically. Do you know what I mean? Could have been anything.
My granddad was a Liverpool fan, right? So I could have actually had a Liverpool. I could have been a Liverpool fan, bro. That's literally how I became a Chelsea fan. I was bought a Chelsea top, but I don't know by who.
I picked Arsenal. I remember my dad laughing because at the time Spurs were seen as like better, and I remember him giving me. I remember being really young and him teasing me. It's never going to work. And then just in the we started winning some stuff, and then the early 90s and the Prem started, and we started winning everything. I always remember thinking, yeah, this is great. So I mean, I was always called a glory hunter.
Spurs, Arsenal, Man United. The one team I haven't heard from a geezer from East London is West Ham. That's mental.
No, but but what it was though, my friend, is that my dad just never really subscribed to this. You have to support your maybe he should have done, maybe he didn't, but he never taught me and my brothers that you had to support your local team. My dad just used to say like about everything in life. My dad's very much a man, and I think he implied this logic into his son's football teams that you're not boxed in because of who or what or where you're born from. Does that make sense? So he says,
I'm not saying you have to, but we should. Like the fact that our name
my grandparents, my grandparents, my nan and granddad supported West Ham, but they were very much like my dad. So my dad's mum and dad were West Ham fans, but they just the way they lived their lives, and I always feel this was such a great way to live as working class people. If one of us as a kid says I want to be a doctor, we never got told, well, you're from working class background, that's not going to happen. Does that make sense? Which my generation and before me in the working class communities, you got basically told you can be a builder, you can work in a factory, you might be there were certain sort of industries that you kind of got pushed towards, if that made sense. But my family just weren't like that. And another thing they used to do is you can support whatever football team. I remember coming home young saying, oh, everyone at school said I should pick my local. The Liverpool fans at school said I should pick my local team. I always found it weird. But they were like, my nan, my granddad, my dad were just, no, you support who you want. So when I know some people don't like that. Some people go, that's wrong. But
when we're not even an option among Spurs, Arsenal and Man United, we're not even an option. That's a bit mad.
It wasn't that you weren't an option. Everybody was an option. Like my little brother, one of my younger brothers, he opened up, me and my brothers used to collect the Merlin sticker books. He went through that and he goes, I'm going to pick a team. And he picked Arsenal. I think it was because of Mark Overmars, because he liked the name, how it sounded. He went, I'm going to go with them. And it just did. I got another friend.
That's how kids do it, yeah.
But my best friend, Phil, he told this story on the show. He was deliberating between Coventry City and Arsenal. And the only reason, because they were the two teams that he said had the most black players in it. And he went, and then Arsenal, we counted, Arsenal had one extra. So he goes, that's the team I supported. That was that was a 5-year-old, like, I'm going to do it because they're more like me. And that's what Phil told that story on this channel. So I think when you're a kid, that's the thing when people call you a glory hunter. When you're 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, I don't think you have the comprehension of I'm going to pick this team because they're going to go on and dominate for the next 20 years. No one at that age, you never think like that.
When I was that age, I supported Newcastle because I liked the name, yeah? When I started getting older and I realized geography and Newcastle is a place very, very far away that I'm never going to see, and West Ham, this is this team where I grew up, I supported West Ham when I matured, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I get it, but I didn't feel like I had to stick with the team I picked as a 5-year-old.
That's probably where the family teachings are different. So what my dad said to us was that you can downgrade. Like my brothers, 2 of my brothers picked Liverpool to support as kids, and then Daniel got to about 17, and he basically said, I like Liverpool, he still likes them now. He went, but I'm never going to travel up to the stadium. I'm never going to put my effort into going. He went, but I will with Leyton Orient. So he kind of become a Leyton Orient fan. But he could see that he had more affection for Leyton Orient. So it wasn't that he went, I'm going to downgrade. It was just actually, I prefer my local team to Liverpool. It's just who he had an affinity with. But my dad sort of said to us, my dad was like, that's okay to do because you're kind of stepping down, not like, I'm going to go from Orient to being a Man United fan. It'd be weird. But he also just said, just support the team that you love the most. And I remember I did have a couple of years where I was going Leyton Orient regularly because we used to get free season tickets with school. Before anybody asks, I was 10, 11 years old. I couldn't drive myself to Manchester at that age. And we'd go to the games. But honestly, I'd enjoy them. Good day out. All my mates from school were there. It was wicked. But all I could remember, no mobile phones, nothing. All I was waiting for was half-time and full-time over the tannoys, what the Premier League scores were. And all I wanted to know was whether Man United won or not. And that was always like that moment where I knew I'm a Man United fan because I'm at this game, all these things are going on, but all I cared about was hearing what the United score was at half-time. And that was enough for me to know I'm never changing, no matter what, local, what a friend said, if I got called a glory hunter. I fell in love with them. And once you fall in love with your football team, I don't think there's anything you can do to change it personally. I think you're stuck for life.
Growing up, you lot were just everywhere, Terry. Like, you know what I mean? You lot were just everywhere. That's why I'm happy that I saw my club actually take trophies away from you. Like, yes, you've taken trophies away from me, but I've taken trophies away from you too, bro. Yeah? The way United fans used to just come into primary school, secondary school, just gloating. And I used to tell these men all the time, like, why are you lot supporting the team in Manchester? When do you lot go? Like, you lot don't go there. Well, yeah, I've been there once. I've been there. Someone told me the other day, I've seen it. Someone told me the other day, I've seen it from the car park. I've seen it from the fucking car park as well, bro. You know what I mean? Some of them have never been in there, bro. It's crazy. Staffy's been in there. They don't even live in the country. That's what we was dealing with growing up. Bare United fans from London that were just never down to go Manchester to go watch their club, bro. And that's why for me, I'm glad I support a London club because I could just go to Fulham Broadway, right? I ain't got to travel far to get to games, man. It's long. It's long. Big up the London fans, I do it a lot.
No,
man.
it's. Do you know what it is? Like for me as well. Like when I always loved United and I love football, but I was also when I got into like the martial arts. Football took a step back simply because most weekends I was competing and most evenings I was training. So it was very hard to watch the games. And again, this is how old it was. I'd record things on video cassette and then I'd get home and watch it and do everything else. But then I moved to Manchester to be part of a different martial arts school and part of Team GB. And I lived in the city. And then I loved the club, but then I got the bug for it like you wouldn't believe. Because for the first, people always see there's loads of Man United fans in London. Like if I go through my whole group of friends, there was like, as a kid growing up, there was one other lad that supported United and he never came out. He's a bit of a weirdo, to be fair. Most of my friends didn't support United. So moving up there, suddenly I'm surrounded by Reds, could get to games easier. And even if you just went to the pub to watch a game, it was just, I used to love it because suddenly it was like, fucking, it's full of Man United fans. Brilliant. Like, never experienced that. And then when I was up there, I stopped the martial arts because of injuries and stuff. And I needed something else to throw myself into. And it was like, well, I'm just going to start going to football even more. And yeah, I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, when I moved back down south, like traveling up for every other home game for a few years, that was hard. I'm not going to lie, but that's why we created the Devil's Bus, which is how this YouTube channel then started. Because we got a mini bus that we used to drive up in. We started like filming ourselves on it, like singing and doing silly things. And we created a YouTube channel called the Devil's Bus TV. That YouTube channel is now this. So
that's why I respect guys like Roms. You see Roms, bro. He goes Liverpool. You know, this guy goes a lot.
Yeah.
He goes to a lot of Liverpool games, man.
Oh, yeah.
I see him in the chat as well.
So score predictions though. Big up Roms. Score predictions, Staffy. What you going with for this game?
2-2.
2-2. We have to wait for Lawless to get back now. I hope he's got milk. I hope he's got milk available. Because a few people have been asking. He's doing the chip challenge at the end of the show, so stay with us to watch him eat that thing, bruv. It's going to be great.
Who's scoring for you, Staffy? Who's scoring for you?
Rasmus.
Ahmad and probably Rasmus.
I hope Rasmus gets a brace.
Probably Bruno.
So I can.
I know Ahmad is gonna get on that transition. I can't wait. I can't wait. I want to see.
I'm your best player. You know, that's crazy.
Oh,
if it was that transition, he's been cooking. I mean, he gets an assist at least every game.
Palmer shouldn't be our best player. Palmer shouldn't be Chelsea's best player, but he is. And Ahmad should not be United's best player, but he is.
He is. What's your score prediction? What's your score prediction, Lawless?
I'm gonna go 3-1 City. I'm gonna say. I think it'll be one of them where I could see a draw. To be fair, I could see a draw, but I'm going to lean 3-1. Obviously, I want Man City to win. We've got a chance to go above Man United this weekend after Monday with 1 point behind you. So, yeah, that'd be a good result for us.
I hear you on that. Viewers, give us your score predictions. Get them in below. A few super chats here. First one says, you use this analogy to your viewers a lot, so I will ask you the same now. You refused to answer last time. Show me a successful club where they sacked their director of football and refused to replace him. But we literally did it on the last show where we showed you that that clubs often change the role. So we showed you the examples with Manchester City, how they got rid of people that were considered sporting directors or technical directors, but those roles merged into others. So I might even have the overlay still here somewhere. I think I do.
By the way, Ashford was the technical director.
Yeah, so you can look at Man City's here as an example. So let me just show you Manchester City, and this is what I stated. So you can see that they used to have a technical director in Brian Kidd. They haven't had one since 2009. Omar Barada was the head of football operations, and they haven't replaced him. You could argue they've gone backward from that point, but they didn't have him before. They didn't have that role before 2020, and they were very successful then. They haven't had a director of football since 2012. The point I was making, sorry for the overlay not matching, the point I was making is that we're all getting ahead of ourselves. Oh my God, they're not going to replace him. That means they're never going to be any better. What they're stating they've learned is that actually part of the reason why Dan Ashworth also went, it wasn't just the mistakes he made. It was, in fairness, there's not much for him to do because Wilcock's picking up a lot of this and Barada's doing a lot of that. And we've got this guy that we thought, and we've all done that. And if you've ever employed people, my friend, sometimes you think you need someone that you end up not needing as things start to work out in reality. So
that's why we got rid of Vivell as well, because we didn't need it. There was just too many cooks in the kitchen, bro.
So when you say here, show me a successful club where they've sacked a director of football and refused to replace him, I've just shown you them. But I don't think it's about not having someone doing the role, doing the jobs that a director of football typically does. But it merges into other roles or other people or other job titles. So I think when you hear the headlines from the Sun newspaper, by the way, they're not getting a new director of football. That is so disingenuous to the role that's needed. Somebody is picking up those responsibilities with a footballing background and a footballing pedigree. It isn't that we're just letting accountants and bankers do it again, my friend. So hopefully that answers your question thoroughly. City are on a poor run, but United are so unpredictable. I can somewhat guess that City will do. I can't tell you what United will turn up. I think that's fair, Patrick, to be honest with you. I do think that is fair. 22 years ago, I loaded up FIFA and Arsenal were the first team that came up. Now it's been 20 years of pain and struggling. Thanks, FIFA.
That was almost me, I'm not going to lie.
I know a lot of people have picked their teams who play FIFA. I will just say this now. Please don't advocate that to your children. That's an awful way. Because computer games are not a reality. Because I've won the Champions League with Bolton before on a computer game. So please don't use computer games as a barometer.
Yeah, but for people like that, because for me, that's how I kind of picked United. I actually almost picked Arsenal because of that. But Premier League wasn't big in Egypt when I grew up. I was more likely to become a Madrid or a Barcelona fan if it wasn't for FIFA. Because that was the trend. Everyone, if you lived in an Arab country, everyone was a Barcelona or Madrid fan. I just so happened to get FIFA 2004. And when you pick, it's not like it is nowadays where you pick your favorite team and that's what you start with. You just pick English. It takes you to the Premier League. And the first team there, because of alphabetical order, is Arsenal. And that's all I knew. All I knew was Arsenal for like.
There's going to be a lot of AFC Bournemouth fans coming up in the future.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like it is right nowadays. Now you can just pick your favorite team. And that's the team that starts for you on the loading screen. But back then, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I'm assuming a lot of people became Arsenal fans.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes, Lawless will be eating the hot chip a little bit later, people. A few other subjects before we get on to that.